Hi, everyone. As I mentioned, my name is Sarah LaTourette, and I am currently running for Ohio House District 76. I'm sure you know what that is, but just in case you don't, House District 76 is made up of most of Geauga County and then the northern portion of Portage County. So I do have a good chunk of Portage County in the district. First, I guess I want to thank Tom and Ann for squeezing me in today. I really do appreciate it. I was hoping to be here next month, and the schedule got kind of crazy. So I wanted to start by thanking you. And there's a lot of you in this room that I haven't met yet, so I'm particularly excited to be here. I want to start by telling you a little bit about myself and my background, a little bit about some issues that are important to me. But I guess that I wanted to get a few housekeeping items out of the way first, some concerns I've heard arise that I just wanted to go ahead and address. My name, it's Sarah LaTourette. It's always been Sarah LaTourette, and that's a decision that I made 4 or 5 years ago now, and my husband is fine with it, and so we're good there. And so I am sorry that some people seem to have an issue with me using my maiden name, my name, to run. I think that's unfortunate, and while I don't intend to run solely on my name, I'm certainly not going to run from it, and so that's not going to be something you see me doing. I'm well aware that a lot of you in this room probably have some very strong opinions about my father, and believe me, I get it. He's a very outspoken man, and people tend to love him or they hate him. I happen to love him, and I'm very proud of the work he's done in Northeast Ohio, but I can completely appreciate the difference of opinion there. So I think you'll be pleased to find that I am not my father, and I think once you get a chance to know me and give me a chance, you'll be pleasantly surprised to find out that maybe I'm not the spawn of Satan that I've been made out to be sometimes. I have lived, the other issue I hear come up a lot is that I'm a carpetbagger, which is just, it's absolutely ridiculous to me. I have lived 26 of my 31 years here in Northeast Ohio. I love Northeast Ohio. Northeast Ohio has always been home to me. My husband and I did move away for a few years, but we very happily returned, and so I do find that pretty insulting. So I just want everyone in the room to know I am almost a lifetime Northeast Ohio resident and very proud of it. And so just now that we have that out of the way, I want to tell you a little bit about myself and my background and kind of what brought me here. I was born and raised in Lake County, and after graduating from Madison High School, I attended college at Miami University, and I ended up double majoring in political science and history. Then after college, I moved back, and I started working for the Lake County Republican Party. I'm sure many of you know Chairman Dale Fellows. It was a wonderful experience, and I worked for the party through the 2006 elections. Now, as I'm sure most of you also know, those elections didn't really go our way. And like a lot of recent college graduates, my husband and I really kind of found ourselves in a hard place. We had a hard time finding steady employment, so we did end up relocating to Louisville, Kentucky for a few years. And I accepted a job working at a small political communications firm. Great experience, but I also became very heavily involved in a local golden retriever rescue at that time. I started out just walking dogs, and I'm sure you all volunteer. You know, that volunteer creep, that slide that kind of happens. I went from walking dogs once a week to spending well over 40 hours a week working for this organization. And I kind of had that aha moment that, you know, if I'm that passionate about giving back to my community and getting involved, I should do it for a living. And so I ended up making the jump over to the nonprofit world at that time. My first job in the nonprofit world was with a regional organization dedicated to improving the lives of people with Parkinson's disease and their care partners, and that really was a wonderful experience. I finally felt like I was making a difference in my community, which is what I wanted to be doing, but it wasn't home. I wasn't making a difference here in Northeast Ohio. I was still in Louisville, Kentucky, and so my husband and I decided to make the move back, and in the summer of 2012, I accepted a job working for Adoption Network Cleveland, which is where I am now. And just to give you a brief idea of what we do at Adoption Network, we help people through the adoption process and after the adoption process. We help people reconnect with their birth families, and then we also do a lot of work with the foster youth in Cuyahoga County. I'm actually a volunteer mentor for a young 14-year-old girl that's in foster care, and it has been an incredibly eye-opening experience for me, and I've really learned a lot at that organization. And so that's a little bit about me and kind of what brought me here. I want to tell you a little bit about some of the issues that are really important to me and where I stand on them. First and foremost, I consider myself extremely pro-life and pro-family. I'm sure many of you see in the news that, unfortunately, a lot of women nowadays seem to be using abortion as a form of birth control, and I just think that is absolutely unacceptable. And working at Adoption Network, I've seen countless families, just absolutely desperate to have a child of their own, and to know that that is going on at the same time when all of these women are selfishly choosing to end innocent life it's absolutely sickening to me, and that's something that I hope to be able to help stop. So that would be my first point. I am a huge proponent of our Second Amendment right. I was actually endorsed by Ohioans for Concealed Carry and Buckeye Firearms. I'm a firm believer that it's not law-abiding citizens that are causing the problem when it comes to gun control. So therefore, further restricting our rights, it's unnecessary, but I do think it's also a huge violation of our liberties, and it's not something that I want to see happen. I'm very pro-business. I was endorsed by NFIB, the Ohio Chamber, the Ohio Society of CPAs, and a couple other like organizations. I'm well aware that small business is the backbone of our economy, and we need to be doing everything we can to make sure that burdensome regulations and taxes aren't affecting our ability to do business. I am also very proud to have been named a friend of agriculture by the Ohio Farm Bureau this year. And much like what we need to do in businesses, I think we need to take the same approach with farms. We need to make sure we get the government off the back of the farmers. I think it's becoming increasingly difficult for them to make a profit, and when that's happening, it's becoming near impossible for them to pass these farms down to their families. And I think that's such a sad thing to see, particularly here in Portage County and in Geauga County, where I'm from, where we have so many farmers. So I do fully intend on talking with and working with as many farmers as I can across the district to make sure that their voices are represented in Columbus. I'm not going to stand up here and tell you that we're going to agree all the time. That would be a lie. It's not possible. I can promise you that I will agree with you a good chunk, I think, more than my opponent. And I can promise you that I will always listen to you. If you have a concern, if you have something that's bothering you, that you want to see something done about, please reach out to me. I'm happy to give you my cell phone number, my email address. Reach me however you want to. I want to know what's important to you, and I want to make sure that your voice is taken to Columbus. So with that, I thank you for your attention, and thank you for letting me squeeze in today, and thanks for your support, hopefully.